Hello, hope you've had an amazing day. My name is Vanessa Black. So happy and grateful that you are here, and congratulations for investing into yourself, into your growth, into your personal development, into your personal freedom by joining us in these Read With Me sessions. And we are currently diving into The Mastery of Life by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., if you're just joining us. But we are on chapter 9 right now, The Pyramid of the Moon. We've gone through so many incredible chapters in this book. If you have missed any, I definitely encourage you to go catch up with us. The videos are all in the playlist on our YouTube channel here. And if you feel like one of the chapters or something resonated with you and you needed to hear it, don't hesitate to re-listen to them on a daily basis, because that's the type of book this is. It's like the first time around, awesome, a lot of wisdom, a lot of insight, a lot of breakthroughs. But the second, third, fourth time you listen in or read it, you're just getting so much more. You're every time it's different, and you're learning it more and you're understanding it more. So definitely congratulations for being here again. I don't want to waste any more time. Let's dive right into chapter 9, the pyramid of the moon. All right. The moon has long been a symbol for reflection and renewal, because the moon renews itself every 29 days in a cycle of constant rebirth. It provides a natural template for making the passage of time in early calendar systems. Moreover, many ancient civilizations saw a symbolic link between the moon cycle and women's reproductive cycles, a link we can see in myths and stories involving moon goddesses. When we consider the moon's ability to move the great oceans with her gravitational pull and combine this with the fact that the majority of our own bodies are made of water, it's easy to understand how the moon has been held in such high regard by cultures around the world, and the majesty, mystery, and cyclical nature of the moon can help you understand the inherent cycles in your own life and on your spiritual journey. As we discussed at the beginning of this book, one way to see the journey to mastery is a deepening spiral. You return to the same lessons over and over throughout your life, but you also bring along with you all of the work that you have done. You don't have to become frustrated when the same issues or the same emotional reactions surface, because you are deepening your spiral as you deal with them. Like any great spiritual practice, this journey is never finished or perfect. It's a living, changing, and growing process that continues through time, like the moon. Here at the Pyramid of the Moon, you pause to rest, to renew yourself, and to reflect on your journey thus far. Here you begin to see the power of your journey as a physical representation of the two-headed feathered serpent god, Quetzalcoatl. You began at the plaza of Quetzalcoatl with the distorting and self-harming voices of the parasite and judge. And as you pass through the plazas of the mind and of the elements, you learned how to confront and release your unhelpful agreements and limiting beliefs. Now you find yourself, excuse me. Now you find yourself at the foot of the pyramid of the moon, an in-between space where you are no longer in your old life, but not yet in your new one. You have examined the identities you created along the way, and now you can symbolically return to the mother, to the womb, to a place of wholeness where you existed before your fear-based domestications took over. In this sense, this step on your journey, climbing the pyramid of the moon, is a kind of rebirth. Let's take a moment to review the various surrenders you have made on your journey so far. After leaving the island of safety, the home of your little self and seat of the identity you have always clung to, you pass through the plaza of the mind, where you learn to identify, investigate, and release the unhelpful domestications that live there. You begin to practice the mastery of awareness, the primary tool used to heal the mind. Then you visited the plaza of water, where you learn to recognize your emotional states and how your parasite hijacks your emotions to keep you trapped in old stories and behaviors. You learned to harness forgiveness and release and purify your emotional body, balancing its wisdom with that of the mind. In the plaza of air, you committed to clear vision and embrace the truth of infinite possibility, learning to trust your intuition in your work, to be the artist of your life. In the plaza of fire, you burned away the illusion of separation and reconnected to the passionate spirit that flows through you, creating life itself. In the plaza of earth, you face the fear of death and embrace the paradox of living a life in the gift of a physical body as a singular and unique expression of the Nawal. And through all of it, you've been healing yourself. As you reflect back on your work throughout the journey, your journey, you may realize that we are all, you, me, and everyone else, simultaneously completely unique, yet utterly the same. You are not your body, not your thoughts, not your emotions, but you are the Nawal that created the whole thing. You are connected to me and I to you. We are both Nawal. We are the stars and the sun. We are the truth. We create everything we know, and knowledge obeys us, not the other way around. Our mind now is the ally, no longer distorting our knowledge and our perception of life. You need no gurus, no priests, because the truth has always been inside of you. This is what you've been searching for your entire life, and you have simply recognized this search on your journey. You know that the divine is within you, and you no longer have to search for it. You know that hell only exists in the mind and only in the moment that you decide to punish or hurt yourself. At the start of this journey, we said that Teotihuacan can be translated as the place where humans recognize the divinity within themselves. As you leave the Avenue of the Dead and move on to your final two destinations, the Pyramid of the Moon and the Pyramid of the Sun, you move beyond your limited human scope and understand your greater place in the universe, your divinity. Mother Moon. The Pyramid of the Moon invites people of all walks of life to explore the feminine. Although we all have both masculine and feminine energy inside of us, most of us lean heavily towards one or the other. Sometimes because of the domestications that we never question, and sometimes because it simply resonates with us. We use these agreements to forge part of our identities. And just because you are endeavoring on this journey to let your false identity go, that doesn't mean you won't use these energies anymore. The difference is that now you allow them to flow through you. You freely when you need them rather than grabbing onto them and holding them tightly. Consider what female energy means for you and for your life. What about male energy? Remember, you do not have to adhere to or align with anyone else's definition of feminine and masculine, which are, after all, based on agreements. When you consider symbols of feminine energy, you can be inspired by icons as diverse as the Virgin Mary or the Hindu goddess Kali. You can be inspired by women and men in your own life, by ancestors, by cultural figures, or even by feminine aspects of nature and animals, plants, and geography. My grandmother has long been a matriarchal force in my life, as well as having a profound influence on my family's work. She was both a shaman and a curandera, or faith healer. She taught in a small spiritual temple called Nueva Vida in Barrio Logan in San Diego. Every Sunday, she performed what she called catedra, a spiritual teaching similar to a mass. Through prayer, she entered into a trance and the spirit spoke through her. She went on an inner astral journey that allowed her to practice her faith. During the week, she performed healings and consultations there. She was the first woman to be paid by the state of California to be a faith healer for Casa Familiar, a community outreach center in San Isidro, California in the 1970s. Years later, she was inducted into the San Diego's Women's Hall of Fame for her work in the community and her achievements in keeping the family's spiritual tradition alive. My grandmother's feminine power is still central to my family's teachings today. But even in my home and family, there remains some strong agreements about gender roles. For example, my wife and I have committed to maintaining our home together. When she cooks, I wash dishes, and vice versa. I wash clothes too. When my mother first saw this dynamic, she got very upset. In her upbringing, these were jobs for women. First, she got mad at me because I was doing the wrong thing as a man. Then she got mad at my wife for not taking care of me. I love my mom and respect her very much, but if I let her dictate what kind of man should be, I would be going back to square one. I unlearned a lot of what my parents domesticated me with, The agreements that were true for them and their love are still true for them today. However, my wife and I do what is true for us. We have created a new culture for ourselves and our family with our love and agreements. I am sure that my kids will create their own in their time. All this is to say that we must be careful of domestications about what it means to be a male and female. We all carry these assumptions and distortions within us, and that's perfectly fine. I only ask that you continue to practice awareness to expose existing agreements and distortions of these ideas that have been found the foundation of your conditional love, and find out what you want to do and how you want to express your love. I would like to think of feminine and masculine power in terms of actions rather than descriptions. So instead of saying someone is sweet or caring, I notice what they're really doing when they're drawing on feminine power. Maybe they're comforting, healing, or listening. Maybe they are protecting, like the modern term of mama bear. Or maybe they're intuiting and confronting a hidden problem that no one else sees. This allows me to think about actively bringing feminine power into my own work in life. In this way, I keep the male and female energies within me in a balanced state, free of any identity building. Energetic doubles. Modern science has discovered that the body renews all of its cells every 7 years. So, in a sense, there is literally no part of your tonal that is the same as it was 7 years ago. In a more symbolic sense, you can use this idea of multiple cells as a tool for making changes in your life for healing. Have you ever thought of yourself as more than one person? Or understood that you have an old self who is in fact totally different from the current you? As we lead groups through Theo, when we arrive at the pyramid of the moon, we encourage people to visualize their energetic doubles in their own minds to give them a little outside perspective on the other version of themselves. After climbing to the top of the pyramid, they rest on the flat surface alongside their doubles. Then we form a circle at the top of the pyramid and together imagine that our doubles leap into and through the center of the pyramid, taking all of our past agreements with them and releasing us into a new life. This is our rebirth. Amazing. And I'm going to pause this read, or I'm going to conclude this read with me session. We're not done with this chapter, but go to the next video and we will complete this particular chapter where we're going to dive into the power of intent and then the exercises that we're going to go through. Actually, let's dive into it now. Okay, the power of intent. At the top of the pyramid of the moon, you also experience the freedom of your own intent, a word that has special meaning in the Toltec tradition. Imagine for a moment that you are an eagle flying high above a pristine valley. You feel the clarity of the elements of the air all around you as you look down on a vast landscape below you. You understand for the first time through your own incredible wisdom that the things you once thought were holding you back, thoughts, stories, emotions, don't control you anymore. You have the power to see through them, to find their origins, to rewrite them, to feel them flow, and to let them go. Your psychological fears no longer control you. This is the liberation you feel at the top of the pyramid of the moon. This is the new life you have claimed through your arduous journey and your intent. From here and from now on, you will consciously practice your intent. Now, at the beginning of your new life, you choose where to put your Nawal energy. You choose how to bring your own singular, passionate spirit out into the world, unencumbered by past agreements and beliefs, and you will create your work of art with impeccable intent. You get to express yourself, to love and accept yourself, and to live into the realization that everything you are experiencing actually comes from you, from your own intent. When you realize that intent is the same as unconditional love, there is no limit to the spiraling heights you can create, enjoy, and explore. Let's go into the first exercise, day-long reflection retreat. You have done a lot of personal work. You have explored many different deep parts of your inner being. This exercise can help you take your first steps out into the world to see with new eyes and a new sense of freedom. This is a monumental and profound step, so it's fitting to spend some time in reflection and rest in order to absorb the lessons you've learned and prepare yourself to step out over the threshold of personal transformation. While this exercise is offered in the form of a day-long retreat, you can set aside just a couple of hours for it if your schedule simply won't allow a full day. Try to make the retreat as long as possible, however, as this will enhance its benefits. For the duration of your retreat, commit to turning off your TV, your cell phone, your laptop, and any other electronic devices that you may use. Spend some time beforehand tidying the space you plan to use so you can focus on relaxing and enjoying the space. This is sacred time with yourself. Here are some suggestions for practicing awareness during your retreat. Cook yourself a meal. Slow down and appreciate each ingredient. Notice how it smells by itself in contrast to how it smells in combination with other ingredients. Thyme, it's like thyme by itself and then thyme added to cooking onions. Feel the texture of each vegetable. Note its color. Try to focus solely on what you are doing in the moment without thinking of other things. Be grateful. When you sit down to eat, take a few moments to center yourself. Take a few breaths and allow yourself some gratitude for the food in front of you, for the time you took to prepare it, and for the people who grew it, etc. Treat yourself. Choose a favorite food or dessert and eat it very slowly, savoring each bite. This is not some kind of strict, health-conscious retreat. This is about fully enjoying the physical body that you've been given. Meditate. Sit in meditation, perhaps one of the meditations or visualizations given in this book. Notice if you feel differently now that you are nearing the completion of your journey. Go outside. Go for a long walk in a natural area. Stop occasionally to stand still and simply notice the world around you, the way the wind is blowing, the feeling of cool or hot air on your skin, the gravel beneath your feet, the sound of birds or airplanes or other people nearby. Try not to judge any of these sensations as better or worse than another. Just feel, see, smell, or hear them. Take a nap. If you feel tired in the middle of the day, listen to your body and take a nap. Consider turning on some soothing music or opening the window and letting in some fresh air while you doze. Good scents, like food cooking or incense burning, can be helpful too. A friend of mine says that some of her best naps have been while others are cooking, and that the smell of good food on the stove helps her drift off into a delicious, dreamy sleep. Take a bath. Take a long, relaxing soak in the tub. Add essential oils or bath salts to your taste. And exercise. If you practice yoga or qigong, this is a perfect time for these practices. And we are going to conclude this amazing chapter with that exercise that I feel like we can set a date that we want to be able to do that exercise for the day if we can. If not, set aside some hours. I think it's going to be beautiful. Congratulations for being here. And I'm super, super happy and grateful that you're here. In the next Read With Me session, we're going to not only dive into chapter 10, which is the pyramid of the sun, but we're also going to talk about an additional exercises that Don Miguel Ruiz shares for the pyramid of the moon, that there's still some, but we can focus on this one for now. So I hope you got something out of this. Let me know. I'm excited for you, and all the blessings continue to head your way. The awareness that has coming into your being, and appreciate you, love you. Remember, everything happens whenever you want it. You get everything that you need. All right, we'll see you in the next episode and talk to you soon. Take care.